And I'm going to start your reading right now for Capricorn. I won't say any more of that rubbish. So the first card you have your past is the Ten of Wands. Yeah, I'm seeing this kind of being on a track, trying to get on a certain track, trying to do things, trying to progress, and you weren't able to do that. You had something in front of you stopping you. I think this is probably a person you had in front of you, actually. And I think this is probably a work situation. I think you did have a difficult person around you at work. I don't think you're able to avoid this person, sadly. Yeah, I think you had to be face to face with them a lot. You might still be in that situation, actually. I'm seeing two faces together and they're kind of being forced together. I'm seeing that here, and my eyes also going across to the Three of Pentacles, where I'm seeing these kind of people being faced together and forced together, and they don't really want to be, but they have to be. I'm getting a really strange feeling around this, actually. It's almost like this person who you had to be around, they were kind of polite and civil and they seemed fine all on the surface. But there was a kind of a subtle undermining going on, I think. And I think if you tried to point it out to this person, if you said, excuse me, you're saying this to me, this is really bad, please stop making me look like a fool, or please stop making my work look like this, or please stop that. They'd turn it around to you. They'd be able to easily turn it around onto you and make you look like the silly one or the petty one. And I think you knew that. So you're kind of a bit trapped. You're like, I want to say something, but if I do, I know it's going to turn around into this way. So there was all of that extra stress on you as well. I can't stand that kind of thing. I've been around that kind of thing before, and I really hate it. If people have a problem, they should just say. If people have a problem with me, they should just say, I have a problem, it's because of this. I'm actually getting this feeling they'd like to take over or jump ahead of you or something like that. And they're doing this kind of subtle thing to kind of undermine your confidence a bit. They're a very sneaky person, this is what I'm seeing. So if this is resonating, if you're still going through this horrible situation, I hope you're not, but if you are, the only way I think you're going to have to be able to change this is if you kind of get away from this person. I don't think you can confront them. I really don't think you can, because they'll just look at you and say, oh, what have I done? What have I done? And they'll probably bring it up in front of other people, and they'll get other people on their side. They're that kind of a person. So I think you've got to do everything you can to either work with someone else, work in a different place, get away from them in some way if you can. Because at the moment you're a bit like this man, trying to get your work done, and you're trying to get somewhere, but whoever this is putting these barriers in front of you. They're putting all these wands in front of your face so you can't see where you're going, and they're making life really, really difficult for you. So I don't think this is your only job, or it might be that you have some other kind of side business or project or something going on outside of this normal work. And I think at this time, when you were going through this at its worst, that might have been what was keeping you going, the fact that this wasn't everything to you. With this other project or this business or whatever this is, definitely keep up working on that, because I see this all the time in your readings, that you'll get there. You'll be a success at something you're trying to start. That's what I always see. You'll get to where you want to go. I keep on seeing that all the time, and I'm seeing it here now. But yeah, at least try to change who you're working with if you can. You might not be able to, but try everything you can. If it's to move to a different department, if it's to move to a different place, area, desk, anything, if it's to work with someone else rather than them, try to do whatever you can to kind of minimize your time with this person. I'm just feeling the mental exhaustion around this. I can really feel this. The next card you have your past, the Page of Wands. Yeah, I'm just seeing this project or this business thing, this other thing outside of your normal work. you might be losing a little bit of confidence around this, or you were at this time, because I'm just looking at this page and he looks as if he's looking up to the top of this wand and he's thinking, I'm not as tall as this. Am I ever going to get there? Am I ever going to get up to the top of this wand? And he's saying, it's like he really, really wants this. He has this red feather in his hat right near his head. So he's thinking, oh, I'm so passionate about this. I really, really want this. Am I ever going to get there? That's the kind of thing I'm getting around that. I think maybe this other work situation might have made you feel even more anxious to get this going or get this moving quicker than it actually is going. I just want you to know that if you're feeling like this, it is going along, it is moving, it is getting somewhere. Don't think it's not getting anywhere. And also try not to bring your stress and your anxiety over from your work into this other thing, if that's what you're doing. I'm just saying that because there might also be a temptation to want to rush things so that you can escape from this work situation, if that makes sense. It's sort of like maybe you're working and maybe you have this other thing on the side you're working on and you're thinking, oh, the faster I do this, the faster I can move out of this work situation and move into that. I can do that full time. Don't let the anxiety over your work force you to rush this side thing, because if you rush this side thing, you might make mistakes, things might go wrong. You're really trying to get things happening quickly for the wrong reasons, not for the sake of, getting this done and doing a good job on it. It's kind of because of this other person. And also then, if you do that, you're letting this person dictate what you're doing in this business or this side thing. And this side thing, it's yours, it's your own thing, it's about you, it's very, very important to you and who you are and your identity. You don't want to let this person encroach on that, because then you're letting them infiltrate into other areas of your life, and you don't want to let them do that. See these things as two separate situations. They're so different. Try to look at them as if they're two different people. You just can't compare these two different things, your work thing and this thing. Deal with that over there and deal with this over here, or try to. But definitely deal with this person. Try to either work with someone else, work away from them, work in another team, get off that project if it's a project that you're doing with this person, and go and work on something else. Let someone else take over. Whatever you can to minimize your time with this person. They're just not good for you, and they're just not good. I've just got very, very bad feeling around this whole thing. So the last card you have for your past is the Five of Swords. Yes, what can I say? This is about this. Okay, so you will be able to move on from this work situation. You absolutely will, if that's what you want to do. Again, don't try to rush this new thing so that you can do this all faster so you can get away. I know how tempting it must be, because I can really feel the tension around this. Try to get away from them, absolutely try to get away from them. Try to move, do anything you can to get away from them. If you do just quietly move away and you're able to do that without a fight, don't feel as if it's some kind of easy road or a cop-out. Your emotions and your mental well-being is so much more important than fighting someone and winning and any of that. Don't worry about, oh, I have to win, I have to show I'm better than them, or that I've won. And don't start thinking about those kinds of things, because you never will with this kind of a person. They're not upfront, they're sneaky. They're going to turn this around in some other way, and also, you're just going to end up spending so much time on this ridiculous person that you're going to take time off other things that you need to be concentrating on. This is a really sneaky person. Look at this man's face. If you tried to fight them again, they wouldn't fight fairly. It's really, really not worth it. And you can see that here. I'm not saying never say anything to them. I'm Aries and I'd say something, of course, but again, I can see it's just not worth it with this person. It's pointless. You'd never get anywhere with them. They're just not upfront. They're really sneaky, and they'll kind of dodge their way out of this, or they'll make it look like you or something. Just think about this. They're spending all their time and their mind space on getting one over you, making you look bad, doing all this plotting, doing this sort of silly stuff, this political rubbish, whereas you're just getting on with your work. Who's in the right here and who's getting further here in this situation? Who's going to get further? The person who's concentrating on other people, trying to kind of do these things, or the person who's concentrating on their work. So just think about that. Every time they say something or do something, just think, yes, that's another day, another minute that you're not kind of concentrating on your work, and you're kind of, yes, and you're thinking about me. Yes, I know that. So just try to get away as much as you can. And if they are trying to get to you, just look at it in that way as well. I don't know if that helps. So the first card you have your presence, the Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, see, look at this. This is the thing you're working on. This is this thing that you want to happen. Now, again, don't rush this. Don't rush this. It's going to be a success, and it's going to happen at the right time. I see that all the time in your readings with whatever this thing is that you're trying to do. I'm seeing it here again, and I think I keep on seeing this popping up because it's to remind you not to lose confidence in this, not to give up, not to let that person make you lose confidence in other areas of your life, especially this one. Please do not give up. Please keep this person's words, whatever they're doing, their actions, everything out of this. The other thing I'm seeing here is this is someone, yeah, this is a love connection I'm seeing. I am seeing a love connection here. It's really strange. I'm getting confused because they're acting as if they're not all that interested in love, not just with you, but with anyone. They have, I think they have shown a lot of attraction towards you in the past. I think there's been a lot of physical attraction between you. Maybe that's what's happened. And I think there's always been that physical attraction there. I think there's some kind of work connection between you and this person. I don't think you work together. I don't think they're a client. I think what the connection here is that you've shared a lot of your work goals and they understand them. You've kind of said, oh, guess where I am now? I've done this. I've kind of done this thing, or I've achieved this thing, and they're like, oh, I'm so proud of you. That's the kind of conversation I'm seeing happening between you. It's not that you work together. There's some kind of work thing that you talk about. I think you've inspired them in some way when it comes to career or work or something in that area. So you've been kind of listening to their goals and helping them and encouraging them as well. This has all happened in the past. But this is a love connection. I think there is going to be a conversation that comes up between you. I think they are going to show their interest. I think they're going to show a very serious interest in you. I think they've been thinking about this for a long time. They've been thinking about you for a long time. They've been kind of gearing themselves up to this. And yeah, this is definitely serious. It's going to be very serious when you have this conversation. Yeah, Ace of Pentacles, it's about a beautiful gift, opportunities, and that leads to stability. So what I'm seeing is you're probably going to sit down together somewhere and they'll bring up this serious thing. They'll bring it up in a small way, but you'll know exactly what they're talking about. It's going to be like, I want to get serious. I've been thinking about this for a long, long time. I'd really like to, something that indicates, I don't know what they're going to say, but it's something that indicates that they want something very, very serious with you. I am seeing some kind of a lead up to this though. There's a warm up to this, if that makes sense. So they're probably going to start increasing their time they spend with you, talking to you. You'll probably have more texts, more phone calls. They'll want to do more with you. So if you see that increase coming, that's probably what this is. It's the lead up to this conversation. I'm getting this really strong feeling here that they don't want to scare you away. And I think that's probably why there's going to be a very long, slow build up to this. Because they're going to kind of talk to you a little bit. They're going to bring up a few different subjects, see how you react. Then they're going to bring up other things. They're going to do other things and see how you react all the way along. Because they don't want to kind of suddenly spring this on you. Oh, I want to get all serious, and then you're afraid. They don't want to do that. yeah, the thing that's standing out to me about them is that they're a lot more sensitive than they look. They don't look insensitive. I don't mean that, but I'm seeing a kind of a strong person, a loner kind of person, someone who likes being on their own. So they're not normally one to do this kind of opening up, but they are going to do this. They are going to do this. That's what I'm seeing, if this resonates with you. The next card you have, your present, is the Lovers. Yeah, again, I keep on seeing some kind of work connection between you. Again, it doesn't have to mean you work together or that you have worked together. I think this is the way they see you, and I think this is also what they admire in you. To you, work's about more than just work, especially these things you're working on and moving into. And I think maybe it's because before they met you, maybe they had a different idea toward work. Maybe they just worked to get their pay and they came home again. Maybe they had a job that was quite kind of just boring, it wasn't very interesting, they just wanted to quickly get in, get their money, do their work, get out again. And to you, a career means more to you. It's about you, it's about who you are on the inside. And I think you open them up to that idea. And so instead of just chasing jobs now, looking for better pay and all of that, they're chasing things that are more about who they are as a person, if that makes sense. And I think that's all down to you. That's what I'm seeing. You've probably talked about your goals, they've talked about theirs. If you look at this card, obviously this is the Garden of Eden, and the man standing in front of the tree of life, but the woman standing in front of the tree of knowledge. Now, this doesn't matter whether you're a woman or a man, or they're a woman or a man. This is about a couple and the way one person sees the other person. So they see you as having a lot of knowledge about careers and things like that. They see you as being very intelligent. They love that about you, and they love your drive, and they love the way you see things. You've opened them up to a lot of things. That's what I'm seeing. The one thing I'm seeing about this that might be a little bit of a problem, and I think this also might have been a problem with other relationships you've had, you're quite deep spiritually, and I don't think this person's quite where you are at yet. I'm saying yet because I'm seeing a lot of sensitivity around them, and they are growing, so they'll probably grow into this eventually because they look to you as a leader. That's what I keep seeing. It is looking very positive, though. I wouldn't discard that. I wouldn't look at that and say, oh no, they're not compatible. I'm not seeing that at all. This is very, very positive. So, if this is resonating, let this flow naturally. If they're starting to kind of build up a few little text messages, and then they start seeing you a bit more, calling you a bit more, and it's happening gradually. Don't try to speed this up. It's the same with your work project. Let this flow naturally. Let it take its natural course, because that's the way it's supposed to be. Everything's supposed to be coming in at the right time for you. So just remember that. If you're seeing this person and they seem a bit slow, don't worry about that. Just let it flow, let it happen. So the last card you have, your presence, the Three of Pentacles. Yeah, again, this is what I'm seeing. This is about this work situation, having to work in a team, having to work with people you normally wouldn't choose to work with. And you're a complete opposite. You are the complete opposite of this person in the Ten of Wands, the absolute opposite. If you look at this card, there's a monk standing next to someone who looks a bit like a jester in the way they're dressed. So these two people are complete opposites. One's serious, one is a bit more superficial and silly. I would say you're probably the more serious one in the two, because I was seeing a lot of spirituality around you. I'm not saying you go around being serious all the time, but you're quite a deep thinker. So I would say that they're the kind of more silly, annoying, funny one out of the two. But you're just so, so different. If this situation does escalate and things start to get worse, I'm not saying they will, but I'm just looking at this person up on this platform. So you might have to talk to someone in authority if things get really bad. If you do, you'll have to be very, very careful in the way you approach this. This is very subtle. What they're doing is very subtle. I don't think you'll be able to accuse anyone of anything, because they won't have any real there's no real evidence behind anything. They could always turn it around and say, oh, I meant that, or oh, I didn't say that, I was trying to be helpful, and that's what they'll probably do. So you can't do things like that. You can't go forward and say, this person's done this, I'm really unhappy, they're undermining me, they're this and that, because they'll just turn it around into something, and there's no hard evidence. And they've been very sneaky about this, which is what I'm seeing in the Five of Swords. So you're going to have to be very clever in the way you approach this. You might even have to say something completely different just to get away from them. You might have to say, oh, I'm not happy with this, working in this area, I want to work on area B. Or you might have to say, oh, I don't want to be in this room. It could be anything. But really think about this, really plan this, think about how you're going to do this. You're going to have to be a little bit calculating around this. You're not normally a calculating person, but I think to deal with this situation, you're going to have to be. That's what I'm seeing. So have a really good think about this. You can get out of this, you can. You've just got to think about how. So the first card you have for your future is the Wheel of Fortune. I love seeing this. I love seeing this in your readings particularly, because you make luck for yourself. This is about luck, about fortune, about karma, all that kind of thing. Yeah, you're the one who makes your own luck. You're a hard worker, you're a smart worker, and you know that. And you know what you put in, you get out. This can be karmic as well. What you put in, you get out. What I'm seeing here is, you might have to lose something to gain something. I think this is about this project or this business thing again. I know I said I wasn't going to talk about this, but I'm seeing it here again. This wheel can be about ups and downs. And yeah, as you travel on your way up with this, you're going to have to shed some part of your old life, because as you keep working on this, this is going to teach you things. You're definitely going to change as you learn, and there are going to be a lot of things in your old life that you're not going to want to bring with you. You're going to have to leave them all behind. I keep on seeing this project as something that's going to help people to learn something. You're going to be learning as well, and you're changing as you work on this as well. I'm just looking at a few things on this card. I'm looking at the snake, and snakes shed their skin. They evolve into something new. And yeah, this information or whatever it is, this thing that you're going to help people with, or this thing that you're doing, this is something that's going to enrich people. The characters around the edge of this card, they're all reading and they're all learning. And they're also golden. So what you're giving to other people through this, it's a really valuable thing. So don't ever doubt that. Again, don't let this person or anyone else undermine your confidence in this thing. Keep going, keep working on this. It's really, really worth it. And you're going to really help a lot of people through this. And when you get to the end of this whole process, you're going to get a lot of freedom from this as well. I'm definitely seeing financial freedom.